Okie, welcome to 1,000 Ways, the show where we are going to uncover the 1,000 ways to kiss the earth that Rumi talked of 800 years ago. It's going to be a process, but we're going to get it done. My guest today is William Slenders. William?
Live long and prosper, like our friends to the north.
Nice. Good one, William. Nicely done. So, William is the executive director of Lethbridge Destination Marketing. Obviously, his job has got considerably harder in just the last couple of weeks here. But I think we can talk about things that were in the works that will resume at a later date. Would that be a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it works. I know that we're all in confusing times. I actually had this pretty interesting analogy that I liked about coronavirus. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Yeah. So the analogy is this: Corona has urinated in our swimming pool, and Corona pee has spread everywhere in the swimming pool. So what do you think the best thing we can do if there's Corona pee all over the swimming pool?
Well, one is not to add to it.
Not to add to it, and also get the hell out for a little bit. Get the hell out, have a shower, take a rest, go spend some time with your family, cook something together, teach your kids how to make cookies, read books. I got 3 books to read that I've been waiting on for like months. Okay, now I'm going to get at them books. Watch some movies that are inspiring or informational or help you. Take an online course. There's so many of them available. The other day I asked my lovely bride, Corolla, I said, tell me about a favorite childhood memory. And, we had a nice conversation. We got time to have conversations. Now we're not in a big rush. So anyways, we're going to get past this. It's going to settle down. It's going to be all right. Right now, it's a little bit of a transition. People kind of freak out when they see me going to the grocery store because I go like this. I have my little masky thing like that, my glasses on, my gloves on, and then I got my little spray bottle ready to spray everything down.
Well, to be fair, though, it does look like you're a bandit in disguise, right?
Well, it does, exactly.
And with the run on toilet paper and everything else, we can't be too careful.
Well, that's true, exactly. But anyways, interesting times if nothing else. So, William hasn't been here that long, 2 years?
2 years now, yeah.
2 years. Came to us from Brooks, very engaged in the community, knows lots about the community. It's amazing. I thought I was going to, kind of guide him along. Oh, William, I don't know if you know about this. And everything I come to him, he says, oh, yeah, I know that. So, but tell us about some of the interesting things you've been working on, William.
Well, there's a lot of things that we've been trying to do, and really it comes out to the evolution from Lethbridge as kind of the spoke and hub model into its own destination. So there's a lot of challenges in Lethbridge regarding capacity. We've got great tourism attractions, but for the most part, Lethbridge has always been marketed as this kind of spoking hub, right? You come into Lethbridge, you restock, you're going off to the Rockies, you're going out to Waterton, you're going out to Head Smashed In or Writing on Stone, and those are all fantastic attractions. But it's always skipped the beat on Lethbridge. And with so many wonderful things inside the community, we've been looking at how to elevate this position. And that's really what the core focus has been on.
Cool.
So, yeah, moving forward, a lot of our programs in here is really about developing new capacity. It's about engaging new partners, finding new ways to create new product. A good example is, the Fish and Game Association is a good one that we're looking at with the Galt Museum in Fort Whoopa. Extenuating circumstances aside, if this program goes, it'll create a brand new historical context, the likes that nobody has seen in the last little bit, and it creates a really unique product that is not being offered anywhere else in Canada. So it helps to create a real natural draw for us in the community, and it's going to be a really fun event moving forward.
I think so as well. The idea, I think we can talk a little bit about the idea, is it?
Sure.
So basically, it's about Fort Whoopa and the historical context that we have here, and about the battles that have been here, those kind of things, and about the type of equipment, weapons, that, because it'd be used in a war, would be a weapon. I, by the way, have firearms, but they're all recreational equipment. But in wars, you have weapons. And the weapons of the day versus the game changers that came on and how that changed the whole course of history at that point, right? And then kind of have a hands-on experience so they can actually go and fire these different type of firearms. I think it'll be super cool.
And I think it's really unique because, again, we do see a lot of interest from Southern Alberta and other Albertans in the shooting realms of sports, and there's nothing like this.
No.
This really does bring active history to life, and it helps to try and tell a story that not many people are familiar about. So again, it goes through the Lethbridge culture, goes through Lethbridge history, and really tries to create a brand new framework for things inside the community. And this is just one example of the many things that we're hoping to bring. One of the more difficult things within the new organization has just about been the portfolio that we've assumed. Tourism Lethbridge, everybody thinks about tourism as bringing in the leisure travelers, bringing in the big internationals, right? People think tourism, and they're immediately drawn to Banff, right? One of the larger centers. True to us in a way, but not, that's only half the story, right? We also do sport tourism as well as meetings and conventions, and those are two very different markets, all requiring a very different approach into how we do things. So
now, meetings and conventions, we really don't have the infrastructure for bigger ones, anyways, at this time, correct?
Correct. Again, meetings and conventions typically draws on our airport, right? Which is one of the reasons why losing Air Canada right now, even if it is because of the coronavirus or not, it's still a real kick at this point, just because we lose that much latent capacity.
Right.
So we do have great facilities down here. We've got access, and we've got a number of different spaces available to it. So Lethbridge is an amazing place for meetings and conventions, but it's finding the right ones to make it work. Again, with this whole coronavirus thing, it throws a wrench into the system here. So it's a whole new set of targeting and positioning and really just trying to find things that are going to fit within Lethbridge so that way we know we're bringing the most amount of benefit back as possible.
Got it. No, that's great. And back to the shooting sports type fund and the sport tourism type thing, the Lethbridge Fish and Game Shooting Sports facility is like world class. It's an amazing facility.
Oh, it is.
And we're going to have 2,000 members this year, and it's a phenomenal facility. And to incorporate that with Fort Whoop-Up and their historical and dressing in the costumes or the costumes from the late 1800s, that's pretty cool stuff. So, by the way, I forgot one thing with my little analogy. Remember about getting out of the pool, but the idea is the professionals going to drain the pool, clean the pool, sanitize everything, restock the pool, and then we can go back into the pool. And then when we go back, we might say, hey, I was in this part of the pool, but I want to be in that part over there, right? It's a time to kind of reflect and reevaluate, I think. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, cool things there that we're going to do. We actually, William and I had quite, by the way, William, do you all always preferred William over Will or Willie or Bill or Bob, Billy or...
Never Bill, but Will. I'm okay with Will.
You're okay with Will. Okay, all right, got it. Okay, I didn't know that because I just was wondering if that was William's the only way that you prefer.
As far as I'm concerned, there's only one Bill, and it has to be Bill Shatner. So
Bill Shatner, fair enough. There you go. That makes good sense to me. So, very nicely done with the Vulcan Live Long and Prosper. By the way, I can't get my fingers doing.
I'm an old Trekkie, so I can keep on doing that till the cows come home.
Nice. We had actually were having a chat with a major television show. We can't say because we signed non-disclosure agreements, but they were very seriously looking at Lethbridge for their show that they were going to do, and that was real exciting. They were very impressed with the community. They were very impressed with what we had. In the end, they went with a different direction for whatever reason, but I think they're going to be back.
And I think it's going to be good. Again, one of the other major things that Tourism Lethbridge is attempting to do a little bit differently is bring in more public relations and more elements that really show our beautiful city off in the national spotlight.
Right.
I mean, we've got tremendous opportunities here, and we're just itching to try and share them. So that example is just one of many that we're working on right now, and we're really hopeful to be able to continue these into the future.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so a lot of good things are going to happen. Now, in the interim, right now, in the reality of where we are, events have been delayed and deferred and that kind of a thing, so that has occurred. Is there any, are we trying to post more virtual type, hey, do you know what Fort Whoop-Up looks like? Here's the video little tour of Fort Whoop-Up, right? Because, now you can go on and see the best museums in the world, right, from your computer. So is there something right now that we can do in the interim, do you think?
Absolutely, and we are working on that, and our partners are working on virtual tourism projects as well. The challenge with virtual tourism, though, is you don't want to recreate an experience that can't be undone.
Right.
Right? Like, for example, I'll take Nikiyuko Japanese Gardens as an example. Tremendous facility, absolutely stunning in its own right. But then to put this onto a virtual tour and create that would keep people from coming down to see it in the flesh.
Sure.
Right.
They just kind of saw it. I'm good. Right.
Exactly. So a lot of the virtual tourism really needs to combine elements of history. If you can combine the tour with elements of history, the best one that I've seen was blanking on the name of it, but they did a ghost tour in that. So as you're going through the museum and that, they actually brought back old photographs taken at the exact same spot, and they integrated history and living architecture, and it's a fantastic experience.
Cool.
That experience by itself might have additional benefits in the future when we talk about augmented reality tours and looking at new technologies and how our attractions might be able to use it. That's the really exciting stuff. So now we're just starting to work on this. It's really been brought to the forefront, but for us too, it's also a delicate balance. With coronavirus here right now, our intent is not to promote the activities going on in the community because it's in poor taste. Lots of people can't travel to it, and we really want to focus on what's happening here in the community, right? The focus right now is really on the community well-being. And we're seeing fantastic instances of people just really coming together as a community and working through the problem. The Caremongers is a good example of that on social media, right?
Oh, Caremongers. I'm not familiar with it. Tell us.
Caremongers and that, and again, this is just coming off of a conversation with one of our staff this morning, but they're individuals that are like positively going around and trying to impact people that may be negatively affected. So whether or not they're going to go speak again with the elderly, or they're trying to help keep the positivity flowing, and they're infectious about it, and it's amazing, right? These are the feel-good stories that make Lethbridge work. And the other half of tourism is it's also telling that human element, the human stories, and that's the other piece that we've done differently than most other organizations. Where other tourism organizations will focus purely on volume and churn, we're trying to start to get into the human element of Lethbridge. We're trying to focus on the things that make Lethbridge truly unique and truly stand out. Again, Lethbridge isn't a tier 1 tourism class destination. We don't have people traveling all over the world to get to Lethbridge. But those people that are coming here for very specific reasons, and that's what we're trying to accentuate.
Cool. Tier 1 would be like a Banff. Tier 1 would be Banff.
Yeah,
okay,
Banff, absolutely.
And is there how many tiers are there? Or
in my classifications, there's 3 tiers.
In your 3, okay.
And then they separate from A class and B class. So,
okay.
Like, for example, Banff is a tier 1 community because it is truly tourism dependent.
Right.
Calgary is a tier 1B, which it's still industry dependent, but takes a great amount of benefit from the tourism industry.
Right.
So Lethbridge would be a tier 2B. We're not like Waterton. Waterton's a good tier 2A, for example. Lots of good up and coming into it. Not quite at the same level that Banff is, and that has some opportunity for other industry. So
Will has like amazing data, what would you call it? Data skunkworks capabilities where you can really do some amazing things with data, eh? Is this something we can talk about?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, tell us about that, because he was telling me about postal codes and lining up postal codes with people's interests and people's incomes, and then, here's where you send this messaging to, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot of really unique ways of being able to use the data. More so than ever, we're starting to become more hyper-targeted in our focus. Gone are the days of simply just blanketing out all this information and hoping you get a return. Those days are gone and over. Right? I mean, it's very much financial accounting. The money that you put into marketing needs to return a net positive. It's not like Mad Men where you hopefully put up an ad and you're going to attract 1 million people out there and you take great strides in how the message went out. Can't do that anymore. So yeah, I do like to consider myself a data scientist at heart. I look at the data, look at trying to identify trends, trying to identify different prospects where we can go to people and then trying to really connect with those individuals that have that logical connection back to our community. So yeah, the postal code analysis is just one of it. Our partners up with Alberta Culture and Tourism. They've got tremendous resources at their fingertips. We utilize a program called the Explore Quotient, which is utilized by Travel Alberta and Destination Canada to try and help submit different psychographics. And then even through just normal marketing in that, Canada Post, targeted distributions, all of these things all take a great amount of time to set up, but then hopefully will deliver outstanding promises.
You bet. Very, very, as you said, way more targeted, way more focused, getting the message to the people who want to hear that message. So,
absolutely.
Right? So, do you, with all of the data that is collected on us, we have really no privacy anymore. I don't think. I think, actually, what I think is this. When you start posting things on social media, you are saying, I want connection, and I don't care about privacy anymore. That's kind of the way I perceive it. Like, you're posting stuff out there, you're telling about yourself, so you really aren't that concerned about privacy, but you are wanting the connection is what it seems to me. So very much a much greater focus on getting the message to the right people, right? So that those are the people that are interested, those are the people who are going to engage with that message. So, yeah.
Absolutely, and that's really true. But for us, we don't actually go through the invasive data collection process.
Right.
Again, we wind up using other systems there. So for us, it's a 6-digit postal code that we wind up collecting. It's not going to tell you exactly where you live on that street, right? Can't happen that way. But the information is powerful enough that it gives us a good understanding of what's happening in the region, and that generalization helps us to meet those target audience requirements. So that's how we utilize the data. We don't ever drill down to, this is Bob and he makes $120,000 and he's interested in puppies and kittens and tractors, and like, we don't do that.
Right.
That's a little too big brother even for me.
I understand. Yeah, I get it. So, yes. And you know what? A lot of people think like the whole data collection type thing and that is evil. You know, that it's an evil thing. And I think it's kind of like a beneficial thing. I kind of regard it all as like Sister Google, even though it's not all Google. It's Sister Google. You see Sister Google on the street and she says, hey, I hear you hurt your knee. How's it doing now? And, oh, by the way, I saw from your texts in your search engine and your Facebook things that you were kind of looking for tires. Well, you know what? Curtis down at OK Tire has the tire size you want, and they're on sale. That's kind of nice, Sister Google. Thanks for doing that for me, right? You know, it's in one part you can say it's invasive, but in the other part, it's like an aid. This is stuff you're looking for, and they're feeding you back things that they know you're looking for. So
well,
yeah.
And very, very common to the name, even of the show, right? Like the one data point will give you 1,000 ways to be able to use it,
Nice.
right? Again, I'm a marketer by trade, so I got to throw it in there somewhere,
Good
right?
job. Good job.
Again, the research really just helps us to better drive things to the end consumer. Even now, right, people are getting smarter. They're wisening up. Traditional ads that you run through, so you'll see these things pop up on Facebook and everywhere else. I mean, people have got a goldfish memory when it comes down to things on that. There's so much noise in the marketplace, it doesn't connect with people the same way it does anymore. So finding the right information to get to the right person to bring them to our community is more important than ever before. And now, more than ever before, it's important to try and tell that human story of it. Again, we keep on going back to this idea of telling that human story, right? That's so important because that's what people resonate with. They don't care about the product at the end of the day. What they care about is that emotional connection, and that connection that lines up with their persona, right? Going back to a lot of these EQ types and that, people will want to do that. If you look at a free spirit, they want adventure. They want to be able to do the Instagram selfie. They want to be able to showcase how alive they are. If they find an ad for, again, I'm just going to throw one out there, like a food festival, and that's not in alignment with them, they couldn't care. But if they find one person that's living vicariously through food, and he's an expert chef in dining and whatever else, that connects. They're going to want to have that experience. They're going to want to come down and see what's going on. That's the draw that gets us down here. Yeah. And with Lethbridge being so far away from Calgary as a major urban center, that 2-hour drive is really a hard barrier to get people through here. So for the most part, Lethbridge has always been a traditional visiting friends and relatives market, and we've been trying to push into that Calgary market as much as possible.
And where you're talking about the hub and spoke type thing, that we keep them in the hub for a bit as opposed to going to the other, to Waterton and to, right? That's the idea, right?
Well, we want to keep them in Lethbridge longer, right? We've got enough for a 2-3 day event.
Right.
But what we want to do is have them stay in Lethbridge for a day and a half.
Right.
The more time we can get a tourist to stay in a Lethbridge hotel, stay in Lethbridge restaurants, go to see Lethbridge entertainment, is just more dollars in our pocket. It's more dollars that stays inside of our businesses' pockets, into our locals' pockets, that helps our municipality, right? This is the draw that we get from exterior dollars that come in to help the community. And that's why tourism is regarded as being one of the more important tourism drivers now, because it takes a completely different pot of money and adds it back into your community.
Right.
So that's one of the importances for tourism.
Exactly. When all of the tourist events or the tourist venues work well, the whole economy's working a lot better because of that, right?
Absolutely.
Just that draw. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And back to your messages, like they really have to be targeted, because back in the day, we might have had, 300 images we saw. Now it's 20,000 or something. It's huge, right?
Oh, I don't have those numbers.
Yeah, like it's just what comes at us every day is so much, the volume, that you really start to tune out on stuff, right?
So let me ask you this. When was the last time that you seen a message-free space?
Can't remember.
Probably when you go to sleep and you close your eyes, right?
Yeah, that'd be right. Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
But even then, if you have the radio running in the background, you've got ads,
Yes.
right? It's every sensory perception that you have right now speaks into the way that people are trying to market to you. And
True.
people are just growing tired of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hence the reason why the stories and that content is absolutely and fundamentally key to our success.
And stories always resonate with the people more so, right? Well, it's not, if it's the right story, it resonates with the person. So
Stories are a uniquely human construct.
Right.
They've been around since the dawn of time, since humans have sat around the fire and they've told stories for entertainment. That's what humans gravitate to. It's part of a psychological construct. It's one of the most easily understood and most globally recognized things on the planet. So again, we're just going back to basics.
Right.
We can think that we're as advanced as we are, but no matter what happens, we always go back to basics.
Yeah,
It's
good
best
point.
practice.
Good point. Yeah. Okay. One thing that Will surprised me with, I thought, hey, I'm going to teach Will something that he doesn't know. So I go and see you and I say, do you know all about when the train bridge was illuminated and Pork Allan and DA Electric, they spent, I forget, it was a crazy amount of money, $100,000 or something to illuminate the bridge, right? And I was all excited to tell Will about it, and then he says, yeah, I know that, I got that. So DA Electric, actually, I was chatting with them well, and there's a group in the community who wants to make that happen again, and maybe make it where it could be lit up, and then where you can change the colors on it like they have at City Hall, which would be very cool, right? And make it an event. I was telling William that at, was it Montreal, they have this thing where they've got these ugly old grain silos that they project stuff on. And this is like a tourist thing. I said, well, the bridge is way more beautiful than that, right? So, yeah, it's kind of a bizarre sort of thing. And we're not promoting the stuff we have here enough yet, right?
Well, I think that we're starting to get to that point where we are, right?
Okay, yeah.
Again, our plan prior to the coronavirus and that was to really push into it. We were getting really excited. One of our challenges about not promoting Lethbridge enough was the fact that we didn't have enough Lethbridge-based content. So Tourism Lethbridge, as part of its core mandate, we actually created a full-service marketing team. We also know that Lethbridge is predominantly owned, like all the attractions are predominantly owned by the municipality, right? We have very limited private investment that's here, and it really impacts us in a lot of ways. Again, the attractions we have here are fantastic and magnificent, but sometimes it can be a little challenging, right? It's not as easy as a private operator that's looking at being able to create new and unique attractions and new and unique products to bring in people as part of their general lifestyle. Part of their reason for being and just the general well-being of the organization. So, moving forward, that's really what we want to see, is how do we build that capacity, how do we continue to grow with it, and the other half of that too is Lethbridge has got a ton of volunteer-based events. When you're looking at things like dragon boats, street wheelers, all these events and that are run by amazing volunteers in the community, and that's where we think we can offer some assistance.
Definitely.
So that's why we have our marketing team. We have a full service videographer, producer in that. So we can go out, create still photos, videos. We can create marketing materials to help promote things. We've got a full social media person that can assist in the production and marketing of the event leading up to and then with the thanks to the sponsors after the event. And then we've also got our creative director of marketing and branding. And he's fantastic to work with, an absolute gem of an individual, Stephen Brond. And he loves working with the community.
Nice.
Often I promise too much in there, and he'll try and tell me I got to slow down, but somehow he always finds a way.
Nice. But that's an important thing, because a volunteer-run organization, they're like at their capacity to just like keep shit running, right? You know, to do the things they do. The marketing type stuff, they generally don't have, one, the expertise, and two, the resources to invest in that kind of thing, right? So for LDMO's support of that, huge, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of making their venues more prosperous, better run, and taking some of the load off the volunteers to get that out there. So yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, everything still comes down to the dollars and cents. Right? The more people that we bring into an event, the more successful the event is. But the more people we bring to that event, again, the more people stay in hotels, eat at the restaurants, want to go out and go do an evening activity. Heck, even go to the movie mill looking for something. That was not a shameless self-plug for the movie mill, even though it is awesome. But again, it gives people more things to do.
Right.
And that's what's key. It's all about trying to increase the volume to our community.
Right. Cool. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. Sometime I might answer you with a song lyric. Sometimes song lyrics come better and easier than words. So it could happen. And you feel free to jump in if you want to do that as well, okay?
That's fine. You might find a few Disney-isms in there right now with my little ones.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have 3 children, correct?
2 of them.
2, pardon me. So his most recent arrival was what, December? Is that when it was?
Oh, January.
January. So most recent arrival, born in Lethbridge here in January, and he was a little bit, had some health woes, but now he's back and things are going. He's growing like crazy and life is good, eh?
Yeah, and that's the 3rd generation of Slenders born in Lethbridge here. So.
3rd generation born in Lethbridge. Really? So you were here and then moved to Brooks?
Well, my father was originally born here inside of Lethbridge and then was raised in the Scandia area. I was born in Lethbridge, raised in the Scandia area, and now my sons were born in Lethbridge and living in Lethbridge.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. So we have no idea, of course, when we're going to be able to resume events. But in the meantime, what can we do? Basically, do a lot of planning, do some figure out some strategy, think things through, do a little research, do some courses, kind of prepare ourselves for when we can resume normal life again, kind of a thing, right? That's about all that we can do, I think. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And I mean, there's lots of things to do inside of Lethbridge. We're blessed with an abundant amount of spaces, a lot of parks, a lot of trails. I mean, Lethbridge has got over 200 kilometers of trails. If you feel bored and you're worried about cabin fever, go for a walk. Yeah. Right? We talk about social distancing, 200 kilometers. Yeah, you can put one person 2 or 3 meters away from that and have pretty much everybody lined up in Lethbridge. I mean, it's easy enough to do. And again, ultraviolet, last time I checked, and that kills bugs. So going outside is a good thing.
Going outside is a good thing. I agree. Yeah, and exactly.
So that's just one of the few things in there. Again, Lethbridge has got a ton of other opportunities. There's lots of virtual resources available here, so it's not a hard city to go out and go do things by any means.
No. And you know what? If I go to Calgary for a weekend, it's like I'm like can hardly wait to get back because the traffic alone there drives me crazy, right? The traffic and the parking.
Well,
right?
where do you go in Alberta where you can get around an entire city of 100,000 people in 15 minutes?
Exactly.
I mean, we're absolutely blessed inside of Lethbridge, right? Next to the bottleneck on Whoop Up or the number 3 if somebody gets into an accident. That aside, the city of Lethbridge is an easy drive.
Definitely so. And if you do get stuck in a rush hour, it's like 5 minutes extra to your time, right?
Exactly.
It's not a big deal. So yeah, cool. All right. What else do we want to talk about?
Well, again, we can just talk about what the future's holding like. And I think that the future of 2020, even though we don't know what things look like right now, I think the most important thing is not to lose sight of what exists inside of Lethbridge, right? People might not be traveling as far, but there's still lots of things to do inside of Lethbridge. So it's really exciting this year to see what's happening in Lethbridge.
Right.
I mean, there's, like I mentioned before, the parks are there. Our attractions are amazing. They're constantly coming up with new things. If you haven't seen things like the Life on Whoop Up Trail down at Fort Whoop Up, I mean, you're missing out, right?
I have not seen it. Tell me about it. What is it?
It's a theater performance with New West Theater down in the Fort Whoop Up. And it's fantastic. It's a dinner theater. It combines history. It's entertaining. It's lovely. It's a charming performance.
Nice.
And it's well worth the experience to go down there.
And it's set at like early 1900s or something. Is that kind of the idea?
It's set to when the traders were in the area, and that kind of follows the follows the fur trade and everything else. It's great.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. I haven't seen that. I should get on that.
Absolutely, you should.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people in Lethbridge should too. I mean, it's fantastic.
Exactly. But again, it kind of gets, you sort of, there's a lot of good things, but with the volume that comes, you kind of, push the whole thing away kind of a thing and not see the part that's real important for you that would be valuable for you. So.
Well, and I think that one of the other things in Lethbridge as well is that people don't know what's going on here. Right? There's a lot of people that are often surprised by the amount of things that are happening in Lethbridge, and they're not really investigating what's happening in their own community. So this summer, if you're not traveling too far, there's a lot of freemium tourism opportunities.
What do you call it? Freemium?
Freemium, absolutely.
Okay. And freemium means what?
Free premium stuff.
Free premium stuff. Free premium stuff. Cool. All right. Good.
Absolutely. So again, when you're looking at freemium things, think about looking at the art walks in the downtown. right? Go visit some of the galleries, check some things out, right? Like the University of Lethbridge Art Gallery has got some fantastic works of art done by international and like really renowned artists.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out, right? Like there's all sorts of things that are here. And yeah, even though that some of the events may or may not happen this year, there's still lots of unique opportunities for people to get involved with.
You know, one thing that is often really understated is at all of the things that have happened at the University of Lethbridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of speakers they get in. They're like world-class type speakers. And on, week after it was, oh shit, that would have been interesting to see, right? Like, and it's not, maybe just not paying attention, maybe they're not promoting them enough, but there's a bunch of ones you say, oh wow, that'd be real interesting to see, right? Now, of course, they're canceled right now, but normally there's a whole bunch of things that happen. And so if that's the case where a lot of people in Lethbridge don't know about these things, what's the solution to that? How are we gonna solve that?
Check out tourismlethbridge.com. One of the things that we do differently at the information center is that our visitor information staff are the ones that update our website. The front desk staff, with the people that aren't coming in and requesting information about our community, are always updating our website with the different things that are going on inside the community.
Nice.
So our website is becoming quickly a nexus of everything to do inside the community, or
Nice.
about as much as we can.
Right.
Right? But I mean, again, city of 100,000 people, and that we're going to miss a few things here and there, but we attempt to try and get everything we can.
Very good point. And even for groups that are organizing events, that going accessing to see about conflicts, whether their proposed date is going to conflict with another one, that's going to be a huge valuable tool for those volunteer agencies that are trying to run events too, right? So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
and we're more than happy to help. If people
Yeah.
have got questions, they can reach out and contact us, and we'd be more than happy to try and help suggest any dates or get them ready to go.
I can attest to that. William has helped me with some stuff where we're trying to figure out some dates, and he was very helpful with trying to coordinate that, him and his team. So it was awesome.
Well, we try. I mean, being a not-for-profit organization with a city fee-for-service agreement, it probably wouldn't be in our best interest not to be helpful.
Yes, that's well said, sir. Yes. Cool. There's something else I'm going to ask you. Can you explain to me, do you know how it is that Lethbridge is last-minute Lethbridge? How does that happen exactly? I've been told it's unique to us, that other communities don't have this, but we certainly do. So do you have any insights into that?
It's a really interesting thing. Out of the other communities that I've worked with, I've never actually encountered it until I seen it in Lethbridge. And it was mystifying to me when I first seen it. But Lethbridge is so laid back, right? There's an expectation that there is an opportunity to walk into an event at the last minute there and be able to grab stuff in there. And I think that this has kind of set itself up over time. It's kind of an interesting thing. I don't even know if I quite understand it myself. That's as close as I've been able to figure it out, is just Lethbridge is really all about no hassle travel.
Got it.
Right? So there's extra capacity. Also that too, and I'll speak a little frankly on that, we need to do a better job than marketing 2 weeks out prior to the event.
A valid point. Exactly.
Right.
Even if it's just a save the date kind of a thing, something.
Even if it's just to save the date,
Yes,
it would help
yeah.
just to get it out a little bit earlier.
I can tell you from organizing events, man, the last minute Lethbridge thing is a big problem because you're like, okay, do we pull the pin? Do we cancel this event? And then all of a sudden the last 4 days before you're stressing, boom, you get all the entries. Okay, we're good. We're all right. Cool. So you know what? We've been too accommodating in the past. Maybe that's it, right? Just yeah, it doesn't matter. Walk in last minute. We're gonna look after you. So maybe we got to be more rigid on our timelines there or something. I don't know.
Again, we're still working on that one. So
Yeah.
as soon as I figure out the answer to that one, I'll let you know.
If you would please, because I don't get it. I don't understand how we have this uniqueness in terms of last minute Lethbridge. I don't get it, but yeah. Oh, DJ Brent knows why. Let's hear it. What is it?
Lethbridge is an agricultural community. It's got a farming mentality.
Okay.
And farmers, they just do everything as it comes, right?
Okay.
They never really prepare, right? So because of the farming mentality, we're going to go to this, right? And expect it to happen. So it's just-
So DJ Brent's opinion. That's what he's
I
figured.
grew up on a farm.
Yeah,
I'm from
okay.
the farm.
So that basically now is the time to do this, and you don't plan for it. It's just here's the next thing kind of a thing. Okay. DJ Brent is helping us. He's turning the knobs and pressing the buttons and doing the slider type things. He was trying to teach me, and I said, Brett, can you just do it out for me, please? So, okay, that's good. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe, right? That could be it. Okay. What else? What are you a singer by chance?
Am I a singer? No.
No.
And if you hear me singing, you run.
You run. And do you have like a preference? Or do you like you like music though?
Oh yeah.
What kind of music do you normally listen to?
I listen to everything.
Do you? Okay. All right. I end this show with a song every time. Okay. So just fair warning. Okay. You can prepare for that. Okay. What else do we need to let people know about?
Stay active.
Stay active.
Stay vibrant in here. Help support your community. Continue being awesome. That's the one thing that Lethbridge surprises me at. There is no shortage of awesome in this community.
True.
Either from awesome individuals that bend over backwards to try and help support the things that they love. There's people that will just, again, the community is amazing that way. And that's probably been the best thing that I've loved since moving into this community is just how much the community comes together to really make things happen, right? You see that sense of volunteerism, you see that sense of just get it done, right? It's a fantastic thing. And I think now more than ever, especially when we're looking at hard times and looking at uncertainty and times and that, this is really where Lethbridge is going to shine.
Right. I agree. There's lots of organizations when you have groups of, I'm in a group called the Shenley, what's that? Social Health Equity Network Lethbridge, I think is what it's called. And the acronym kind of loses it. But anyways, they talk about Lethbridge as being a place where pilot projects often happen, right? Because they're saying, yeah, we'll give that a try. Yeah, we got people that and we'll give her a go, see how it works, right? So.
Well, and I mean, Lethbridge has got a whole bunch of really unique things that happen with it. So, I mean, shout out to Trevor Lewington at Economic Development Lethbridge. What he does with Team Lethbridge, pulling in a whole bunch of people to come together and go up and go talk to the government and that,
right.
It's been tried in tons of other communities and that, and it all fails, right? There's something about the stickiness of Lethbridge cooperation, even if it's cooperation, co-opetition, call it what you want.
You like that, putting different words together, eh?
Oh, sure do.
Co-opetition. Okay, that's
come on,
good.
it's a marketer. If I'm not creating something new here and trying to make it work in there, I'm not, like I said, I'm not doing my job.
I understand. Good. Co-opetition. I learned another new one. What was the one you had before? Freemium.
Freemium, yeah.
Freemium. All right. Carrie, I interrupted you. Sorry. Carry on.
No worries. Like I said, it's that cohesiveness from all different walks of life and that just make the community amazing. In fact, it makes us more innovative, it makes us more responsive, and really it just creates a much cooler community.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think that I'm fortunate enough that I have been able to attract a lot of really good people around me, and those good people often are in volunteer groups, right? Where they're just there to make a difference. That's why they're there, right? They want to make their community a better place. They want to create a great experience for other people. They want to attract new people to a sport, as an example, shooting sports being one of them. That they want to attract people in. They want to engage them, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's amazing the differences in terms of the go get it done, work together. Here's the goal we're trying to create, right? So yeah, very much so. Cool. Do you want to talk about you talked about Stephen on your team. Do you want to talk about your other folks on your team?
Jackie? Yeah. So Jackie, our Director of Visitor Services, is absolutely amazing. So where Stephen really helps to try and build the marketing end for all of our different attractions and our different not-for-profit event partners and that, Jackie is really the development arm of our team. So this is where Visitor Services is no longer the traditional stationary, we're waiting for visitors to come to us mentality. This is about trying to engage visitors as they're coming into the community. So she's actively working with other groups and other associations to be at the different events. So you might see our mobile tourism ambassadors. If you see them, they're in the blue Tourism Lethbridge shirts, go up, go say hi. They're not going to bite you. If they do bite you, come talk to me so I can address the situation, but I can guarantee they won't. But yeah.
You screen for that kind of thing. Biting is not allowed on the job interview. No, oh, you're a biter. No.
You hope, especially with things like coronavirus. You definitely don't want that on the resume.
We know that Jackie is not a biter.
Exactly.
So, okay.
So, but really, her goal in her job is to try and look at ways to help enhance the different events. And that's really where the skill set of our team and our organization is really a complementary skill set for a lot of different groups and organizations around the community. Where groups and organizations may not have those skill sets in there, we want to try and help provide that to help just create that extra layer of capacity, that extra layer of things to do, that extra thing to draw in just that few more stakeholders in order to really help buff those numbers, get some more coin into those events, make things more sustainable.
Right, and do the whole commune alignment thing. I've tried your thing. Commune alignment. Do you like it? I don't know.
Couldn't quite get to it.
I'm not the marketer. He is. So, okay, we'll let that go. I'm trying to say the alignment with the other community groups. Like you started the conversation with Fort Whoop-Up and the Galt and Lethbridge Fish and Game, right, in terms of working that together. So what I'm trying to say is put these stakeholders, hey, here's some synergies we could create. Here's a unique event. And I love that we're doing unique things, right? I mean, that's... Unique is a good thing. Everybody can go and do the same stuff.
People do not travel to do the same thing that they can do in their community.
Why would they?
Absolutely. So in order to really break that mold and to really create some cool stuff, you have to do something new. And this is where, again, you see it all the time, right? People are trying to break the mold. They're trying to make things really impactful and quite cool, right? A good example, the Dragon Boats the other year, they were doing the head-to-head dragon boat racing. It's like a tug of war on the water. It's fantastic to watch. But I wouldn't want to be the guy in the back of the boat because, man, you're swimming by the end of it.
Yeah, no, good one. Yes. So, Stephen, you've introduced it to. Jackie, who else do you want to introduce this on Team LDMO?
The other one would be our Experience Development Manager, Anna Schradell. She is one of the go-tos when it comes down to actually booking and developing things for our mobile tourism ambassadors. And she's also the one that's really helping me out with the sports and the meetings and conventions portfolio. So she's trying to help build the new way that we're looking at that. And then again, too, even meetings and conventions, it's not as simple as people would think. It's not as easy as calling somebody up and saying, hey, we'd like to bring you down to Lethbridge. It's knowing how and what timing they've got for their meeting cycles, if they're interested, if they need a local partner, what type of grants they need, and everything else. So she's really one of the front-line researchers and just overall go-to, get-it-done staff members on my team in order to really help us get there.
With the mobile, what's it called? The mobile tourism thing? What's it called again?
Mobile tourism ambassadors.
Mobile tourism ambassadors. So they go to the event and they go and hang around and mill around with people and just kind of make it a pleasant experience for our guests. Is that what they do?
They actually promote everything to do inside of Lethbridge at those events. So, for example, at what would have been the Home and Garden Show,
right,
they would have been there talking about where to go eat, what else to go do, all these other different things, right? The old model of the Visitor Services Center, and that used to be effective pre-dawn of the mobile phone, right? Now that people are no longer traveling to an information center to get that information because they can go to Google and get it just as quickly and just as easily, convenience is a factor in how we do things. Our mobile tourism program accounted for over 52% of all of our visitor interactions last year.
Really? From their presence at other events, encourage those guests to attend other events. Yeah.
Encourage them to do other things in the community. We
Nice.
don't know what the offboarding rate of that interaction was,
right,
but we can say that we met with X number of people coming from the events. I don't have the number in front of me right now, but they met with X number of people at the events and tried to convince them to go do other things in Lethbridge.
Right.
And again, this is also kind of a nice little value-added benefit for a lot of the different events because we often hear people have an information booth, people are looking for other things to do, right? These are the same types of questions that get asked over and over and over again. And this is a free service provided by Tourism Lethbridge.
Nice. That's awesome. I did not know that.
There's a lot of things that people don't know, but the other challenge that we've had is the organization's only been around for 2 years.
Right.
Right? It's a relatively new organization that inherited a massive portfolio, and we had the operational window equivalent of like the tip of a pencil to get going.
Yeah.
So there's a few things that we would have loved to have been able to do differently in working with the community and getting that information out, but it's just about developing that product, developing the capacity, and then trying to get out and assisting people as quickly as we can.
And you're a very creative type of guy. You're an out-of-the-box kind of thinker, right?
That's the only way to be.
That's the only way to be. Making up words, that's his kind of his MO, his style. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of other really cool projects right now. The one I can allude to it, but I won't go into too much detail with it. It's actually a game changer because nowhere else in the world has done what we've done with this one.
Whoa, I'm liking that. Nowhere else in the world. What can you tell us about that?
What I can tell you about this one is that we've engaged new technologies to create a unique visitor experience throughout multiple locations in Lethbridge.
Ah.
And to learn more, you're going to have to pay attention to my address at City Council here in the near future.
Okay, there you're going to do the reveal. That's what's going to happen?
That's the hope, but we'll see what happens with the coronavirus first, and the introduction of that might be a little bit on a sliding scale. But it'll still go to council first to talk about the program.
Got it. It's something you're pretty excited about.
Oh, I'm excited about this project in here. Like I said, it's a first of its kind. It utilizes things in a way that it's never been done before, and it makes things so efficient with taxpayer dollars. Even I was pleasantly surprised with that.
Yeehaw!
Because whoever would have thought that an exciting thing is utilizing taxpayer dollars as efficiently as possible.
That is exciting. Okay, so you got to pay attention. Watch William when he goes down to city council and chats with them, because then he's going to give the reveal on this amazing service that is also going to have tax-effective dollar use. Effective use of tax dollars.
There we
That's
go.
what I was trying to say. So that's cool. All right, cool. Any other your team members you want to tell us about?
So other than our fantastic content developer, Jerem Scott, again, producing Travel Alberta style images and video and that. If you've seen some of our videos on Facebook and that, that's all been developed by Jerem. Our new social media person, Emma Bernard, has been fantastic. She's been working night and day, well, not night and day, but ever since we've hired her and that, she's been great trying to help us get things back off the go. So you're going to see even more of Lethbridge events and that pop up over our Facebook feed, and just trying to do a better job managing our social presence. And then again, the other one too, and you'll see him tons of different events, is Mattis Bruhaya. And Mattis is fantastic. He's incredibly accommodating. If you have any questions too, he's one of the most knowledgeable individuals on Lethbridge now. Hails originally from Germany, but now he's an expert on Lethbridge.
Nice, nice. And William is an expert on Lethbridge. I'm surprised how much stuff you know about Lethbridge, and how you, all the people that you've met and have this great sense of what Lethbridge is about and the uniqueness that is Lethbridge, right? So that's cool. So
Well,
yeah.
again, I've been a sponge ever since I've got here, and I don't plan on stopping that. So
Nice. No, you're very right on top of stuff that way. So very cool, very cool. MO to help them, assist them with that event. Well, how would that work?
the best is just to call us at the visitor center. Either currently the visitor center is closed as of today to combat coronavirus. And again, a lot of that too is with the snowbirds coming up, because we're the only Sani site that's open between here and Calgary. So we get a lot of snowbirds coming up here with a RV full of substance requiring attention.
Yes.
So we've, and again, that's not intended for the police, and I mean that.
No, we're not saying that. No.
So, but no, we actually, they need to come in. They can come in to see us in regular visitor center hours. They can give us a call, send me an email. We'd be more than happy to talk, even just to talk about what's been done in the past, what you'd like to do in the future, some of your challenges. We're more than happy to try and assist.
Right, and then also where you can assist with the data to get a more targeted ask, right, to get those messages to the people who are going to be more inclined to be interested in those events. Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, exactly. And also to get your events on their calendar and see if there's any conflict with other events that we have, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all trying to play nice in the same area, so we don't want, if we can avoid having conflicts where we have two major galas on the same night. Well, why? Like, there's enough dates. I'm sure we can make that work better, right?
Well, and we can't promote things that we don't know about.
No,
right?
exactly.
So, I mean, that's our biggest challenge. If we don't know about you, then we can't help to try and get people to your event. And Lethbridge is a big city, right? There's only so much that we can do to try and help. And we can't help you if you send it to us 3 days prior to your event, looking at all you right now in the camera and saying, get it to us a few weeks in advance, please.
Break the last-minute Lethbridge trend instead of 3
Hey,
days
I like
before.
that hashtag, break the last minute Lethbridge.
Exactly. Move us back like a month or 2 months or 3 months, so we got time. Save the date out there and promote things better that way. I agree entirely. Problem with volunteer ones, the volunteer agencies, there are a lot of them there's people I know, they don't volunteer with just one thing. They volunteer with 10 different agencies, right? They're spreading themselves pretty thin sometimes. And so they don't really maybe have the time and attention. But there's opportunities for you. If you want to volunteer, Volunteer Lethbridge has tons of opportunities available. And there's a lot of great things that happen in our community that sometimes I don't, like the one you were just talking about, the Fort Whoop Up dinner theater thing. I never even heard of it. I haven't been paying attention apparently. So
And again, if you as an event are spread thin, come talk to us. We're more than happy to help, and I've got a full marketing team and a full visitor services team ready to help and assist.
even in terms of like the images that they might use in a brochure or something like that.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
We've got all sorts of creative content.
Exactly.
And creative capacity. If you need something to help promote the event, we can go down and we can shoot a marketing video to try and help out on social media. We can help you promote it. We can do a number of different things. Right? Just because you're a volunteer event doesn't mean we can't help you. And we really want to help get more people into the community.
Now, back to when you're talking about doing the virtual type things, the video that's taken has to be kind of more teaser oriented. Would that be a fair statement? Because you don't want to really expose the whole thing and then say, yeah, I've seen it. No point in me driving a couple hours to watch that, right? So
depends how you want to market it, but yeah, absolutely, right? If you're targeting for a social media distribution, you're trying to create awareness, 15 seconds to a minute at max, trying to get people in. Link it in with the right technologies, try and do online bookings, right? Like all these are the different tools and techniques that we can try and help you arrange and just really try to create as much interest early on and as quickly as possible.
Definitely. And you know what? The coordination between events, right? You know, if you could have where LDMO assists you and you have an event and there's 3 other events that are going in the same way and you arrange for the transportation, you arrange for the seamless, this is where this starts, this is where this one goes here, that'd be awesome, right? Make a big difference. And make that guest experience for the people who come to our community say, woo, look at this place, right? They got shit happening. So
absolutely.
Well, they'd probably say something nicer than that, but yeah, that kind of thing. Yes. Cool. Well, so if you're a volunteer agency, talk to LDMO. They can help you in structuring the events. If you're somebody who wants to know more about what's going on in our community, talk to Visit Lethbridge. It's visitlethbridge.com, right?
Nope, Tourism Lethbridge. Not to be confused.
Not to be confused. Not visitlethbridge.com. You can go there too. But tourismlethbridge.com, where they have the events, they have the summaries, they've assisted those organizations in promoting those events. So some very cool things happening that you may not be aware of that are right in our community. And you're not going to jump on it today, of course, but, you know, planning for the future, right? I don't know. I know that one of the things I do is teach firearm safety courses. I was supposed to do one at the end of March, and I just said, probably shouldn't do that. 20 people in a little room handling firearms, and you know, it'd be like a sanitation nightmare having to clean them all off after everybody touched them. So anyways, we're deferring on that till May. Hopefully by May things will be settled down, and you know, I think as soon as the numbers of infected start on the downward slope, then things will, you know, a lot of optimism will return, I would think.
And if this thing follows the path of normal cold and normal flu season and that, we're starting to be on the uptrend, right? Like, I mean, it goes away in early spring, so hopefully with any luck in here, we start to rebound very quickly.
Exactly. You're quite an optimist, eh?
Optimist at heart.
Have you always been?
Yeah, not all the time, but
no, most of the time. Yeah, cool.
Well, again, you can either continue looking at the glass half empty, or you look at it half full, and you just change your perspective. So I prefer to look at things as being full. I'm
with you there, man. I'm with you there. So we're like 5 minutes to the end of our hour. So I said that I always sing a song, right? Okay, so I hope you're going to enjoy this. I'm gonna sing you a song that is the first time I ever actually wrote a song. So. And let me tell you a little bit about where it come from. Have you ever seen the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray?
Classic, yeah.
Oh, I love that show. And what I like about it, and for those that haven't seen it, Bill Murray's character, Phil, is stuck in Puxatawney for Groundhog Day, and he can't get out of it. And it's months, it's years he's in Puxatawney, and he has to relive this same day over and over again. At 0600, the alarm clock changes, and Sonny and Cher start singing, and then that day he goes out and does it, and then the next morning, no matter what he does, this day starts the same again. And so Phil, he's a very cynical, he's a bit of an asshole maybe, but he's a very cynical person, and you know, he's unhappy, and initially he starts doing stuff like he'll go out and he'll drink to excess, and he'll drive crazy, and he'll have police chases and do all these risky behaviors and seduce women and steal money. And so he does all these different things, and still each day is the same, and he regrets it and he hates it, and he's very unhappy there. And then he tries to commit suicide a bunch of times, right? Like anyways, he does. He tries to commit suicide. I've seen this movie a few times. He tries to commit suicide a few times, right? And then in the end, he starts incorporating into his day some things that are actually of benefit to other people. So before it was kind of all about him, and now it's kind of, he's going to look at other people and try and assist other people. So he adds more and more things to his day that are about other people. And the last day, the perfect day, he has it like all scripted out. He spends some time studying, and he spends some time learning how to play the piano, and he goes and catches the boy who falls from the tree so he won't get brain damage because he's going to fall on his head, and he helps an old homeless guy this is going to be his last day, but he goes and he buys him a nice meal and spends some time and talks to him. And the old ladies have this old 72 Dart, and they get a flat tire, and he's there with his jack and his wheel wrench and his wheel, and gets them on their way again. And he goes and he saves the mayor. Mayor's choking on a piece of steak, so he saves him. And at the end of the night, he has this concert that he's part of, and he plays the piano, and everybody's happy for a while. It's a really exciting thing, right? And then at the end, he becomes the man that Andy McDowell's character falls in love with. This man, this new Phil. And it's just a beautiful movie, because it's kind of where he went from this transition to only thinking about himself to being where he was very much thinking about other people and being of value to other people. It's a beautiful show. I really love it.
Off topic, have you seen the commercial with him in the Jeep?
Mm-hmm. Where they did it for the Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I was in my hot tub musing about that movie, and I came up with this song. I'm going to give her a try. Just wait, I hope I can remember my own song. That'd be pretty embarrassing if I couldn't, eh? So, if I could live this day to day, again and again, each and every day, you know I would try and be a better man. You know I would have me some damn good plans. You know I would be the best husband I could be. You know I would love her unconditionally. You know I would hear my daughter say he's my dad. You know I would, that would make me oh so glad. You know I would be the best friend I could be. You know I would serve some needs in my community. You know I would show that women are the better ones. You know I would share that message with my sons. You know I would. You know I would. Something like that. Thank you, sir.
Bravo.
So I almost forgot part of it, but
hey, you did good.
Thank you. So anyways, William Slenders, LDMO, him and his team can help you if you're just somebody who wants to more enjoy the things that are in our community, or you're with a volunteer agency that you want to up your game on terms of your events, your venues, your things that you have happening. Here's a man to talk to. William, it has been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you very much,
sir.
Live long and prosper.
Nice. All right, Brent, take us out of here.